Yeah, I'm Allan Lavell. I coordinate a social studies program on risk and disaster at the Latin American Social Science faculty in San Jose, Costa Rica. It's very context specific in general, but there may be some general considerations. Governance, I think we now have yesterday a tsunami and people again have died. There was no early warning system in place which was working. We've talked about that. So there's an inoperance. What is really fundamental here is we really do know how to get on top of risk. The problem is getting on top of risk. Consequently, we have the instruments, we have sufficient knowledge, we don't have all the knowledge. We don't really need, the knowledge thing is not the important thing, it is getting the knowledge on the ground, and that needs good governance, local, urban, national, international, etc. So we could talk about the multiplicity of instruments that don't get on the ground, or the mechanisms. We could talk about the lack of resources, etc. But a lot of risk doesn't need that much resources to be got on top of. It's a matter of doing things well instead of doing them badly. So I think there's with differential advance in different areas, one can't talk for the world as a whole. From the developing south, let's put it, I think the tendency is to move towards what I call a development-based perspective on risk reduction. That is, if we do not integrate this into development perspectives and planning, we will not be going very far. The concept is far more advanced than the practice. That is, we talk about it more, we have it worked out in our minds, we have it worked out in discussions, and it still needs implementation. So, and I think if there's a frustration amongst us, is the fact that we know that, but we aren't getting through to the development actors as much as we should do. Consequently, we're talking at times to the wrong audiences. And if we look at the adaptation to climate change and the disaster risk management one, they are both will go forward to the extent we can promote sustainable human development, lead to increasing incomes or access to resources on the part of those groups, particularly the 2 billion people that have $1 a day. That's not to say disaster only affects those people, but that is the critical part of society that must be faced. Well, the audience is predetermined in the sense of the process itself, that is governments in the world. Yeah. Well, I will even go beyond that. We must talk to high-level decision makers, we must talk to middle-level technocrats and peoples that are... But I would also hope that people would read the document and civil society would read the document, and that there would be the exercising of a demand for different approaches which come from the base of the society and not from the top. Yeah, and that's a complementary thing, it isn't exclusive.